I'm sure you've heard before, Republicans are great for the economy, Democrats overspend, they make the national debt go up, but is any of that really true? Let's find out. This is a chart that breaks down every modern day president. I kind of cut it off at Carter because who gives a shit before that. Let's look at modern day presidents and see when they came in versus when they left, what's the percentage increase in the amount of debt that we saw them add to the US budget? The first thing that jumps out at me is holy shit, did Ronald Reagan suck at this? 186% increase in the amount of debt that was added to the US budget. That is not good. Coming in second place in our holy shit, that's a lot of new debt sweepstakes is George W. Bush with a 105% increase. So our two worst offenders, both Republicans. Not a great start for this Republicans are better for the national debt argument. I'm not going to make you sit here and go through all these numbers because that could be boring as shit. So instead, I just broke it down and averaged out Democrats and Republicans and look at the results. Republicans, more than 2 times worse than Democrats in terms of the percentage of debt that they add to the budget during their tenure. And just a little cherry on top to this whole thing, take a look at Joe Biden. By far the lowest percentage. So far, the whole Republicans are good for the national debt argument, not looking so good. I know Republicans will go, whoa, we're way better for the stock market. Is that true, though? So here's two-term presidents and their effect of the stock market. Bush kind of didn't do so great, even before the whole crash, wasn't really killing it. Then Reagan is coming up behind, two Democrats, Clinton and Obama, who have the highest, by far, stock market increases during their tenure as president. All right, so let's back it out and take a look at one-term presidents and Biden so far. So we kind of have three groups that have emerged here. We have the I'm terrible at this, Jimmy Carter and George W. Bush group. You have the middle of the pack, which is Reagan and Biden and Bush Sr. and Trump. Then you have the upper tier, which is what we saw in the two-term presidents in Obama and Clinton. Two Democrats who are once again on top of the measurement of who is better for the stock market. Okay, let's take a look at like the gold standard of economic growth in America, which is GDP growth. And let's skip the Depression where Hoover ruins everything and FDR saves everything in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Let's skip all that stuff. Let's go to the modern age where we have Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden. Okay, now the first thing you'll see is Clinton did better than everybody else because Clinton's economy was better than all these guys. But the other thing you'll see is that no matter how disparate the point of views are between Bush and Obama and Trump and Biden, they had almost identical outcomes. 0.1 differences, which really means that their policies, despite being very different, didn't really matter all that much to GDP growth. Why is that? It's because the American economy's strength is not reliant on the policies of the president. It's reliant on other elements that are not relevant to what the president does. How the president affects things are in the things that we talked about previously, like the deficit. So going back to this whole debt percentage change, this is a reflection of the decisions and the policies of the president. And if you don't recall, Republicans were 2 times worse at this. So, top line, broad strokes. Are Republicans better with money? The numbers don't bear that argument. Are Democrats bigger spenders? The numbers don't bear that argument either. In the end, it looks like some things don't matter based on who the president is, and some things really do, and it's actually the opposite of what you think. Democrats, while they may be spending more if you look at the dollar amounts, are figuring out how to make sure that spending is accounted for in revenue. That is a very important distinction between what Democrats do and Republicans do. Republicans make big tax cuts and they don't pay for them. That's why Reagan had such a gigantic percentage and Trump had a big percentage too, because Trump had a $2 trillion tax cut that he didn't pay for. So Democrats, while they may spend more, they spend responsibly. They know how to make the revenue back. Republicans don't. They just go, hey, we're going to give you some free money. Yeah, but in the back end of that, you're going to fuck the economy up, which they've done pretty consistently.